My very first client that I ever booked an appointment with in the beginning of my career was a for sale by owner listing. I beat 5 or 6 other professional, experienced real estate agents from top brokerage in the area, and I beat them being 1 month in the business. And today on this video, I'm going to tell you how I did it and how should you, as a beginner, as a new real estate agent, should you position yourself to beat the competition, and what actually you have that they don't have, and how to use it and leverage and make more money. Before I go into that story, I quickly wanted to ask you, please subscribe to my channel to motivate me and help the algorithm to push the channel a little bit forward. I would like to create even more content, interview more people, and provide so much more value and knowledge for you guys in this channel. I'm really passionate about the career in real estate, and I'm passionate about investing in real estate and everything about real estate. So this channel is going to be about that and business overall, because I'm very interested in growing the business, scaling the business, marketing. So that's going to be happening on this channel. So with that being said, please like the comment and subscribe. So how I beat the competition on that very first for sale by owner appointment. And I'll tell you this, I haven't had any appointments before that appointment. I had like 3 times visit to that property, because the first time I visited, there was only wife there. Then the second time there was a wife and husband, and the third time, that's when they were making a decision. Each of those periods of time, I had to come up with something that I'm going to be doing differently than other real estate agents. And I knew, because the nature of this appointment was a for sale by owner appointment, and I knew that there's a lot of real estate agents that are going after for sale by owners, which is natural. It's always been like that and will always probably be like that. But if you're in the business, you understand that then those owners are actually interested in selling the property right now at this second. So if you go after like 10 or 20, you'll probably land at least an appointment. That's what happened with me. It was my first couple of calls, maybe first 20 calls, and doing that for a week or two, and then I finally booked that appointment. And when I grabbed that opportunity and I saw that they were actually looking for a real estate agent, they weren't just on the market just because they didn't have nobody lined up. They haven't been in the country for a long time. They also didn't want to do the sale on their own. So as soon as I noticed that, I said, this is going to be my biggest opportunity right now. I'm going to have to get this list. I remember me presenting the compatibles to the owner, and the husband's on the Zoom, and she's here with me on a table. And one phrase that I used that actually moved it for me, and I said, I would like to do a little bit even more research in order for you for me to come up with a price, because I don't want you to list it for less than it's worth. I don't want you to leave money on the table, but I also don't want to put it for too high. So in order for me to come up with a correct price, I would like to go back home and do a little bit even more research and call some other agents in the area that listed properties in your complex and ask them how was the experience. Line by line, sort of, that was the conversation, and the owner on the Zoom says, you know what, that is different. I've had already couple and you caught my attention. And I'm like, whoa, I'm good. You know, that was immediately my thoughts. I promised him that I will door knock every single neighbor in the area, invite them to the open house, and I will do open house as many as they want, either every single weekend or every other weekend. No matter what they ask, I will do those open houses no matter what. The third thing I told them that I will do is I will call the listing agents of those properties that sold in the complex, and I will ask them for the feedback, and because those property already sold. I am proud of that I did, because he then, before making a decision, he said, you are going above and beyond. You are doing these things that nobody is actually doing right now for me. But I want to take a little bit more time and decide which agents we're going to choose. I'm telling him that I'm going to do everything above and beyond for him. And the wife was actually also like rooting for me. When he asked me to come, I thought that he's asking me to come and sign an agreement. So I'm already excited. And the last questions he's asking is why should I hire you? Because it feels like the connection between me and you is like one of the buddies that I grew up with in the village that I'm from. It feels comfortable being with you. But on the other hand, I have these 2 sharks that promise you that they will sell it for a top dollar. And you see them, they're suit and tie, and they have all sorts of materials with me. They're calling nonstop every single day. And I'm like, I'm a little bit torn. And I said, you know, if you hire me, I will promise you that I will deliver, and I'll go extra mile. I'll do everything that needs to be done. I'll help you move. If you're not here, I'll do everything that's possible. I'll accompany all the showings. Basically, I got you.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me.
After a couple of weeks of being on the market, he said, you know what, I looked up on Zillow account, and it looks like you got the 0 in sales. I said, yeah, because it's not updating, the system. So what was I supposed to say? I didn't know what to say. So I kind of said, well, it's not just being updated. And kind of that was it. He wouldn't go any further. He wanted just me to acknowledge that he knows that I'm new. I actually did accompany all the showings. I did help with moving. I ordered the moving truck. I helped move the boxes. I did so much stuff, but everything turned out pretty good. So for me to sit here and give a brand new agent an advice on how to compete against an experienced agent is this. If you're going to be a brand new agent, you're probably going to start out with working with buyers. If you work with sellers right away in the beginning stages of your career, you're amazing. It's great. But if you're not, don't worry about it. You're going to hear coaches say if you don't list, you're going to die. If you list, you last. And if you're working with buyers, you're out of business, but nobody has told you that yet. You'll hear that in the internet. That's fine. I worked 4 years buyer agent primarily, and having listings here and there, and calling for listings and listing properties, but really I wasn't a listing agent. I was like, here and there I would list, but most of the times I was a buyer's agent. And that was fine. In the beginning, probably that's what you're going to do. You're going to be a buyer's agent. So an experienced agent who works with buyers, he's going to come unprepared. A lot of times he's going to be late. I'm just saying in general, it's not everybody how they run the business, but a lot of times you'll see that. They don't have the MLS sheets printouts with them. They don't know much about the property. And if you ask what year it is and how many square feet and what's the busiest street next door and where is the Starbucks located, they don't know that because they're busy. They are experienced and they are relying on their experience and their name. So when you're brand new, you come in 15 minutes before, you turn all the lights up, you make sure the property is ready for showings, you print out the MLS sheets with pictures, and you provide couple copies, either 2 or 3, depending on how many people in the household are coming for the showings. You got time. If you have one buyer, you want to know everything about the area. You want to know everything about the listing, the history of the listing, how often was listed, how long it was listed for, what's the price changes if there were any price changes. But one more thing I would say, if your clients would like to see like 5 houses, what I would often do when I was in the beginning stages, I would look for one more house. Because a lot of buyers would be so happy that you gave them that one more house, and a lot of times that one more house is actually going to be a very nice house that they might buy. They're going to be happy because you're exceeding expectations. Because right now, meeting expectations is not enough, especially in the beginning stages. When you're at beginning stages in your career, so that's how you actually compete. That's how you win. The story I gave you in the beginning, that's just one of the stories that I just remembered recently as I'm sitting here at my open house in a new construction in Chicago. We've got a couple houses left to sell. That's one of the stories that I will never forget. Never forget. That's my first client that I listed. That was not my first closing, but it was the first client that I had that signed with me. And I remember calling my wife like, I got the listing. So I was so happy. That's how you win as a brand new agent. All I do is win, no matter what. You just do what others won't. I hope this video helps. And if it does, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm really conscious and intentional about this channel. In 2024, I want to grow this channel a lot. And that's the reason also I'm doing a YouTube channel because I want to have these doors open, these connections, these people that I need to meet. I think this channel is going to help. So I'm building the well before I need it. And it's taking a lot of time and effort. So the subscription is going to help me a lot.